this visit to Cleveland come about? Was it due to the partnership that the Federation now has with Kibbutz Kissufim?
Yes.
Okay.
We met some of the people from Cleveland that came to our kibbutz, and they invited us here, me and my sister, but she couldn't come. So I came with my kids, my 2 kids.
And when those Clevelanders came to visit the kibbutz, and through this partnership, is that your first introduction to the Cleveland Jewish community?
Yeah. It was very warm and powerful meeting. We showed them our parents' house, outside and inside, and we explained what happened.
And tell me a little bit more about that. You know, when you met with the Clevelanders in Israel and meeting with the groups this week, you know, what do you want to share with them about your father and your father's story?
I think they know a lot about my father, and just wanted them to keep, to be there, to still stay with us, and I know they are, though they care very much and wants to do and help with anything. It's very warming.
And can you tell me a little bit more about, you know, your family? You know, how many kids your parents have, how many grandkids, great-grandkids?
Okay, we're 5. I'm the second. I have a bigger brother and a younger brother. And we have 12, my parents have 12 grandchildren between the age of 29 to 2. None of us don't live in the kibbutz.
Okay.
But we come to visit all the time. And my father...
But you grew up there.
I grew up there,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
And I left after the army.
Okay.
I went to live in Eilat for 30 years, and then I came back to the area again.
So you still lived close to the kibbutz then recently?
Now, no,
Okay.
but before the 7th, yeah. I
Okay.
used to live there for 6 years. I came back to be close to my parents.
And tell me a little bit about the kibbutz community, what it was like to grow up there.
I have a very happy childhood in the kibbutz. You're free to do a lot of things that you can't do in the city. It's a community that's involved all the time, for the good and for the worse. I grew up in a children's house. We didn't grow up in the parents' house. We had a separate house. So during the day we were there. In the afternoon we used to go to visit our parents' house, and then we go back to sleep, to eat dinner and sleep at the children's house. And the way we grew up all together makes us a bit different, more independent. I can tell that I see things differently than other kids or other adults now. I can see even the difference between my children and me, how they grow up and how I grew up. It's nice.
So you didn't raise your children in a kibbutz?
Only when they were young. I went to
Okay.
another kibbutz, not this kibbutz,
Okay.
near Eilat. in the kindergarten, and then at school they moved back to Eilat.
Okay. And so are you able to, take us back to October 7th and tell us a little bit about, what you and your family went through, and what you're still going through, since October 7th?
It all started at about 6:30. We heard the siren, the red light, you said?
The alarm.
The alarm. And the minute it started, we understood that it's not the same as we used to. Different noises, more often. Then we turn on the television to see what's happening. And in the meantime, my daughter called my father, and she told him to go inside the bomb shelter. They did, but they tried to fix the television there to see what's happening, to know. And it didn't work, so my dad stayed to fix it, and my mom went to the living room to watch the television. At that time, the terrorists shut the door and got in. They asked for the key, the car key, and they took them both outside through to the car. They were still in the pajamas. My dad was handcuffed. They started walking towards the car, and my mom saw that they're busy with my dad by the car, so she went to the neighbor shelter. They opened, they took her in, and that's the last time she saw my dad. On the way, they slap him, and they asked, why you do that? I didn't do anything, he asked my dad. And my mom said, he's an old man, it's not nice. During the day, a few members could tell that they saw my dad's car in different points in the kibbutz. So we don't know whether he was inside or not, because nobody saw him inside the car, and my mom didn't see him get in the car. But there's no dad and no car, so. This is what I know. This is what we know. In the meantime, we didn't know the exact time that they took him. There was no electricity in the kibbutz, so we couldn't. We didn't know what's happening there. We kept asking if someone could tell us. They didn't want to tell us on the phone that my dad was kidnapped. They knew from the beginning. My mom didn't want to tell us. Only the day after, at 2 at night, 2 o'clock at night, I could speak to her, and she told me that my dad was kidnapped. All these hours we were in the shelter in my house, my kids and my partner. And each time we wanted to go out from the shelter, we were like that, see if nobody's coming. We ate there, we drank there, we slept when we could for a little. And until the next day at noon, when the army took us out from the moshav towards Kibbutz Tzelim, and from there we went to Eilat. a hotel. And we stayed there for 5 months in Eilat and in the Dead Sea. And after that we've been to Ramat Gan for 3 months. And now we moved to our house, a new house in Karmei Gat.
Was one of the community you live in, was your community also attacked on October 7th?
They couldn't get in.
Okay.
Yeah. The people from the Moshav, they kept the doors very tight.
Okay. But still, your community was displaced after October 7th? You mentioned living in a hotel? Okay.
Yeah.
And so how has that been? Has it been hard to, feel settled in this moment? Having to move from place to place and not being able to go home?
Very difficult. Very difficult when you don't have your place and you need to move and it's hard to be in a hotel all the time, all the noise. A lot of people were there, and you don't have patience for anything. You just want your quiet and.
And so, with tomorrow being the 8-month anniversary since October 7th, tell me about how you and your family try to keep hope and continue the fight to hopefully bring your father home.
There's no other choice. We need to be strong for him to come. And until nobody said anything different, you want to believe that he's alive and we're going to get him back.
And how old is your father?
He turned 86 in captivity. He's the oldest hostage.
And then anything else that you want, to share with the Cleveland community about your father, or what they can do to help and join in this fight to help bring him home?
I think they do a lot, and they know what to do exactly. I have no words to thank them.